the right simply to grow old like a normal person.
But I did it. I did it. And like a runaway freight train, I can't stop and contemplate, certainly not let it resonate, certainly not let it marinate, must go, 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 because this is a chapter in which one does not linger. This is a chapter from which one escapes. And like most escapes, the sooner the better, which brings me back to the point of this whole chapter, which is in fact Connor McTeague. Because when he looked at me and said, "Don't you dare call yourself Skeletor. Never, never in my presence. Do you hear me? That is cruel. Do not call yourself that around me." And this, I thought, this must be that elusive thing that they call unconditional love.
So my notes say this is your 30th anniversary as a choreographer and performer. So does that mean you started as a child star?
Yes, I was actually 12 when I started choreographing. If only.
Yeah, I know. So you're celebrating this all with your first solo piece for 20 years, which has got a very intriguing title, Becoming Daddy AF, or AF, as you say. So should we talk about the title first or the piece?
Let's go for the title.
Okay. So tell me the story behind the title.
Well, the title was actually a fluke because it was originally called Daddy AF, not even Becoming Daddy AF. And there was a monologue in it that was meant to bring humor to the piece, but real life, which was I got divorced from my first husband after 26 years of marriage. And so going back 26 years, and we were monogamous while we were together. So I was like, had never been on an app, a dating app, a sex app, or act for anything else. I wasn't even that active on like Instagram. And so I was on Instagram and I noticed that like this is how trite I can be. And I noticed it was like, why am I not getting any followers and nobody likes my post?
Tell me.
So then I discovered the hashtag thirst trap and hashtag daddy AF. And I put like one vacationing beach photo all by myself in Hawaii. And it was like ding, ding, ding. Oh my God. I'm getting all these likes because I'm half naked.
I have to go now. I have to go now and put my site up.
Right.
Oh God.
And then I discovered the hashtag Daddy AF on somebody else's post and I used it. And I got so much attention.
Did you know what it meant?
I did. You know, I didn't know daddies were as popular as they are.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God as they are.
So if you watch this interview to the end, I'm going to put some explanatory notes up there because I'm going to have to check up some myself anyway. So let's then talk about this piece of work of yours.
Yeah, great. I had just finished making a very large-scale piece called Halfway to Dawn, which dealt with the life of a jazz composer, African-American, gay, and Duke Ellington's right-hand collaborator named Billy Strayhorn. The piece was all about Billy Strayhorn and trying to deduce the essence of his life, which is essentially unknowable. But there are all these conversations. Was he oppressed by Duke Ellington and the jazz field and homophobia, or was he proudly out and gay, which he was in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s when you could have been killed for being so? Was he a radical, joyously defiant man living his personal truth? But I was trying to get to the core of what is this life about, Billy Strayhorn's life? And when I finished that piece, realizing, wait, I'm now 65, and I not only accept but celebrate aging. However, I'm aging.
Yes.
And I don't have as long left on the planet, nor do I want to have another 65 years on the planet. But you start to ask, oh, okay, well, 20, 25 years left. What has been the meaning of my journey? And just having done this huge process of trying to unearth the meaning of someone else's life,
Yeah.
I thought, what is the meaning of my own life? Which raises questions around the meaning of life and the meaning of love in general. And so I thought, if I want to dig deeper, I'm gonna have to return to the place that I started in the late 80s, the South. And
Mhm.
I thought, what a great time to go back to doing a solo work, which my whole career started by excavating my own life
Yeah.
to try to excavate deeper meanings. And so I thought, let me jump in and do that.
I was very impressed because you say in your notes your genealogy went back 600 years. And I was distinctly jealous because I didn't discover my mother till I was 16. So I don't,
Yeah, it was.
how important is that genealogy to shape who you are now?
Yeah, that's such a great question because the genealogy is there for two reasons. As are most things in my work, kind of what does it say about me personally, and then what does it say about the world in which we live in? And I was astonished. My That's the Roussève side of the family. My
Mm.
In the States, we say they're from different sides of the track,
Yeah.
meaning education class, and my mother's family, the one that I grew up with
Yeah.
and have a deep affinity for, are the Arsenaults. Uh, my my grandmother on the Arsenault side, I cannot trace that genealogy back to the 1400s, and that's part of the issue. I can trace it back to 1850. Her genealogy gets interrupted radically by slavery. But I grew up with that side of the family, with the have-nots, the
Yeah.
deeply have-nots, the poorest of the poor in America, the grandchildren of slaves. And then the Roussèves, I knew had what was socially considered a distinguished background. Uh, uh, for example, my grandfather's brother 30 years before Brown versus the Board of Education, which integrated public schools in America, was
Mhm.
graduating from Harvard as the first student
Wow.
of any college to receive a PhD in 4 years. He broke Harvard records. Uh, and so that side of the family I
Yeah.
can trace back to the six lines. Oh
Jesus.
my gosh, to the 1400s across Europe.
So I was going to ask you how tough was your childhood, but it wasn't. How tough was it dealing with it now for this piece, reliving it?
It was quite tough
Mm.
between, the probably the seminal moment in my childhood. Uh, uh, we have to remember that I grew up in Texas, which was a little late to the game when it came to integration,
Yes.
equal rights,
Yes.
and no comment on present day Texas.
No, we're not going to go there at all.
But let's just say there's a legacy.
Yes. Yeah.
So while I was born in 1959, I was also part of the first move in Texas to integrate schools. So that's when life became tough for me because in the fifth grade, I started going to all white schools. And that's where I first learned the viciousness of the N word. That's where I
Yeah.
first learned the viciousness of anti Semitism. I had never heard the word anti Semitism, and I realized, oh my God, they hate the Jewish people almost as much as they hate me.
Yeah.
So communities started to form,
Yeah.
uh, but it was not a pleasant place. So I learned to be hated very early in life and the survival tactics that you need around hatred. Um, and then I grew up in Houston with
Hmm.
the Arsenaults, whereas the family I can trace back to the 1400s, which I dearly love. But they gave I don't want to make them sound like they're horrible. They actually gave their entire lives to the betterment of Black people. So
Okay.
they used these Ivy League, this phenomenal, unheard of educational access.
Hmm.
Instead of doing these bougier tracks for their own benefit, they actually returned and gave their entire lives to service to the betterment of the Black people.
Hmm.
However, they had a phenomenal history of privilege that uh, the side that I grew up with did not. I can give you one quick example of my mindset. Everyone thinks like, "Oh my God, you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth, and you went to Princeton," and I did go to Princeton. but I had never heard of Princeton. I had no idea what a prep school
Mhm.
was. And this application arrived in the mail, and it was like, Princeton wants you to apply. And I was like, what the hell is Princeton? And my mother was so blown away. And I thought, oh,
Jesus. Hmm.
I guess that's a big deal. But I was disappointed because I wanted to go to the University of Texas with all my friends. So it was never my goal, nor did I think there was a place of elitism called Princeton. I'm really happy I went because it exploded my worldview and my world. And but that was not the world that
Yeah.
I was from in the least.
So, David, are you proud of your story fitting in as part of gay history or Black history?
That's a great question, and I would say both.
Hmm.
That it is it there's an intersection in the piece that is sometimes not an easy intersection because certainly in the 1980s when I came out, the gay community was, I would say it still has issues of racism
Yeah,
that it wants to deal with, but
totally, totally.
back then it was whoa, out of control.
Hmm.
And I will say, as an African American, that the African American Christian community that I was raised in has come a long way, but still has through lines of homophobia, and certainly in the 80s had massive through lines of homophobia.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so it kind of felt like, oh my gosh, I am on the outs no matter where I go.
Hmm.
Within the white straight community, I am uh, the N word, and within the African American community, sometimes I'm the F word. Uh, and so the piece is talking about those different strands of isms and trying to
Do
survive
you
them all.
feel, as an artist, you have a responsibility to share your gay history with us?
Oh, I do. I am that weirdo who unabashedly,
Hmm.
adamantly,
Hmm.
truly feels that art and the humanities are the only thing at this point that can change the world. So I absolutely feel that within the broader social terrain where discourse around our differences, I love difference. I love that I'm talking to people who are not queer with this piece
Yeah.
and queer people as well. It should be affirming for those of us who are queer and perhaps a sharing. I wouldn't be so pompous as to say enlightening for those not from the queer community, but certainly inviting you into our community to discover what we have felt and lived.
Mhm.
And that's how we change the world, is
Yeah.
we bring together differences to discover commonalities. Even take aging as an example,
Yeah.
which is not popular as much as everybody is like, daddy, daddy, daddy. On the fundamental level,
Yes.
they're in love with a stereotype of a
Yeah.
daddy. On a fundamental level, your mind grows. I am so proud of it. I would not, if someone said to me, I could turn you 21 again, I would be like, oh my, oh, please, never. No, I know so much. You
Maybe
have
41.
wisdom.
Maybe 41.
41 could be
Yeah,
possible.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I know. So I know it's this responsibility which you share. David, what happens to the piece after? Are you going to go on with it to share with other people?
Yeah, we are going to go on with it. We have performed full work in progress versions in two cities, and then it's going to premiere and play two cities in fall of 2025. And then we're discussing with several presenters present the possibility of presenting the piece in 2026.
One last question, then. If the younger you was in the audience watching you, would he have any regrets?
Oh my gosh, what a great question! I would say only one. And I would say, in general, no, because all these like pretty challenging things that happen have created my psyche. And for me personally, I would say after all of this, I'm aware of my scars, and there are many,
Yeah.
including I wish I had had more self-esteem. But
Mhm.
not having self-esteem makes you incredibly compassionate about other people. And That's one thing I'm proud of is yes, I'm scarred. Yes, I wish I felt more confident and secure, but you learn to a sense of empathy and compassion. Hopefully that's what I learned. And so I can't even say that I regret that because it gave me some of my superpowers, which are the ability to understand a bit about my own nature and perhaps human nature and the
Yeah.
ability to empathize. My only regret is, as I look back, I wish that I had learned earlier that it's okay to be as
Mhm.
bold as you want. I was too full of fear to act boldly. And
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that comes with age. I was watching someone on Instagram say, you've run out of your F's to give. So you just don't care. You do you. And I wish I had learned that a bit earlier.
I think we all do. I think we all want to go back and be braver than we are. But you've had an exciting life. I'm glad you're sharing with it and good success, big success with the run. And thank you for talking to you today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I'm honored to be here. So thank you for speaking with me.
Whoa. What's the meaning of life? This little young boy asked me one time. I guess he figured I was old as hell, so I should have learned something a little wise by now.
Someone I did not know was standing right behind me. There was no one there?
You may have noticed that the rules of this performance have suddenly changed. This chapter was not lived in the third person.